Right.
Okay, it says we're live.
We're live.
Another episode of Uncertain Dots.
Yeah, this is 19?
Yep, 19. I'm pretty impressed with that, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's longer than any other serial thing that I've done on the blog has lasted, I think.
And it's long enough that we can start talking about the same things we started at the beginning, and it's like new.
And it's because that was months ago. People don't remember us complaining about grading papers before. So.
Oh boy, I guess we should talk about grading then.
How's your summer class going?
Oh my gosh, I'm so exhausted. This is the last week. I do this. They can submit videos to reassess things that they don't understand in class, and the due date for past assessments was last Friday. So I got like 1 billion videos, and some people they're like, I know you're not going to grade this before I get a chance to submit another one, so I'm just going to submit like 4 of the same thing, of different, the same problem, and I'm like, ah.
I will only grade the last one.
And then so I'll grade like 30 at a time, and then I'm like, I just can't do it anymore. So I'm way behind. I haven't looked at any others, and I keep getting caught up on other things. Right now, I was working on. I'm actually getting kind of excited about this Rosetta spacecraft mission.
Yeah, what about it?
So it's gonna rendezvous with the comet.
Right.
There's just a whole bunch of cool things about the that you could write about. I just think it's cool.
Yeah, the basic mechanics of that.
Oh yeah. And then I'm going to right after finals are over, I'm going to Rand Corporation to give a talk there. So I probably should prepare.
Cool. Yeah, probably want to have something put together.
Maybe something,
Yeah. No, I'm frantically. The blogging is way down because I'm doing this science writers workshop in Stockholm at the end of August, and I'm putting together talks for that because they want the materials way in advance. And then I'm also giving a talk at the Institute of Physics in the UK in mid-August, which is so I got to put that together. I haven't even started doing that. But other than trying to think of funny soccer jokes that I could tell, because my funny American football jokes don't play well in Europe, and then I've got I have page proofs of my book, so there's the giant intimidating stack of paper.
I do get intimidated with page proofs. Because, there's a mistake in there, and if you don't find it, then that's your fault.
Yeah, they're having somebody else, go over it whose whole job it is to find misspelled words and that kind of thing. But, the main thing for me is to make sure that, like, the figures are right and didn't get garbled in some way.
Yeah, I could check over the figures, but I have a tough time checking over what I wrote. I bore myself, I wrote that. Yeah. I don't want to read it again.
And I went through so many drafts of some of these chapters. Went through 5 or 6 drafts in the initial round, and then I got comments from my editor, and then I went through another 4 drafts after that. I am so sick of the introduction of this book.
Oh, I think writing a book is like a marathon. But at the end of it, you just want to finish. I don't really care if I come in first place or it's good. I just want to get done.
I have to get that. I have to get over that hill, and then I'm done.
Right. Because it takes a long time.
And the turnaround between, the copy edits I did at the beginning of the month. I handed those in probably around July 4th, I handed in the copy edits. So now the page proofs have come back, and it's only been a few weeks. The copy edits, when I got those, it had been 3 or 4 months since I looked at the book, and then that wasn't too painful. But I just went over this 3 weeks ago, and so now I got to go through it again.
But the point of the page proof, especially for you, is for the pictures. right? I mean, you want to make sure a picture's in the right spot on the right page, and if we need to
and
move
make sure
text
that those things are right. That they didn't introduce any errors in things that, I have to make sure they didn't introduce any errors in things that won't get caught by, because they have a proofreader looking at it in parallel, so it's someone who's going to spot like spelling errors or grammar errors better than I will. But I got to look for, make sure they didn't change something that significantly changes the argument at any point in the book.
So the page proofs for the Angry Birds book, it's a very visual book. So I get, and then they sent the page proofs as I think at first I got PDFs, and then I got paper, and then I got PDFs again. But the PDF would be like, here's the paper, and here's the picture, what it'll look like, and here's the 50 words or whatever you wrote, and they extend past the bottom, and they're like, you need to cut that. Like,
you need to get that to fit on the page.
We need this to fit, so you need to cut like 2 sentences. Like, cutting is way harder than writing.
That's way hard. I almost suckered. I was teaching a class in the fall that they were getting a writing credit for, and I had a couple of assignments, and I said, I had a short assignment, and I offered them, like, we can do a rewrite of this if you think it would be valuable. If you really want to earn your writing credit, you had to do this thing. I think I limited them to like 2,400 words, is what I said, by the count on in your word processing program. And I said, if you really want to earn your writing credit, we can do a rewrite of this, and I'll tell you about it. And they're like, well, what do you mean by that? I said, well, the rewrite would be, now you have 1,500 words.
I like that. I like that a lot.
And 2 of the students were going to go for it. 2 of the students were like, "Oh yeah, I got 1,500 words. Yeah, what's I got to cut out 900 words. That's no problem."
You just cut, end there, 1,500. Stop.
And 2 more were like, "Hang on now, like that's actually really hard." It's like, yes.
Well, you see this with students in lab reports. They think longer is better, and I was like, don't write long stuff just to make it long. It drives me crazy. They'll put the procedure and the materials needed. I've probably complained about this a billion times. We need a computer, graph paper, mass, spring. I'm like, it just took up. They're just waste. They think they've been told. I think they've been told it has to be X number of pages long or more, and so they strive for long, not short.
Yeah, I like we entered the data into Microsoft Excel, then we saved the file. Then we emailed the file to our accounts, and then we went home and we downloaded the file and we opened the file, and then we made a graph in Excel. Jesus, just put the graph there.
I know.
I will assume all of the Excel stuff if you just paste in a graph.
And some people are watching this thinking, Chad's just being silly. No,
seriously.
It's actually like that.
We had an old scope that we used for data acquisition for one lab that would write onto a 3.5 inch floppy, and I literally this is like 12 years ago, but I got a lab report that described putting the floppy into the oscilloscope and hitting save, and then taking the floppy out of the oscilloscope and putting it into the computer and copying the file onto the desktop before importing it into Excel. It's like.
That's the 3.5 is a stiffy, not a floppy.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The 5.25, that's floppy.
That was floppy, and boy, are we dating ourselves.
I know. I don't really mind. I don't care. Look at my hair. Is that not dating me?
Now we have the scope that has a USB. You stick a thumb drive in it.
That's pretty nice. I mean, because the thing is with an oscilloscope. We don't have that because these things are expensive, and we can't just upgrade for no reason. It works still, even if it had a stiffy drive in it. I mean, it works. So you're just gonna have to make your way around it. We're not gonna, upgrade just so you can get a flash drive on it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, the padded lab reports is just the worst.
I've had students bring in lab reports in the summer, and I feel, but they took it to the writing center, and the writing center helped them with their lab, and like, oh, this is, you know, 2 different tenses in the sentence, and all these things are great. And I'm like, but look, you put a bar chart here for your data. Why'd you do that? Well, I just thought it looked good. Like, you didn't show you know, I'd like to see a linear graph. You know, all the things I was talking about had nothing to do with the writing. I really don't. I'm not going to take off for bad grammar. I'm not. You know, I'm going to take off for just. It just doesn't. It just, they're throwing in graphs that don't even have anything to do with the rest of the lab. You know, that's what I'm going to take off for.
Yeah, that's annoying. I don't see much in the way of unnecessary graphs, because what I see is necessary graphs that aren't there is the one that I tend to, because you know, making the completely unnecessary graph would be more effort than leaving out the graph that you were supposed to have, and
well, I think
that's the failure mode that I get.
My students are under the impression that you have to have a graph. You have to have a graph in this lab. And they're probably correct, but they think they have to have a graph. You know, if it's the spring lab, you know, I'm like, have a graph to show force versus displacement so you can see that it's a linear function, and from that you can find the slope and the spring constant. And they are thinking, oh, he needs a graph. Let's put a graph in there. And so they're not seeing the purpose of the graph, other than they think the purpose is to have a graph.
Yeah. Do you get people falling for a line plot in Excel?
Oh yeah. Oh, all the time. Even it's a problem with Excel, because that's what Excel wants. Even you know, I use, and students picked it up, Plotly. Have you used Plotly?
Yeah. Yeah.
And Plotly, the default is line graph too.
Is it the same stupid thing, or it equally spaces
I'm not sure. I just always switched. I've never used it, because when would you use a line graph?
Well, you know, I fell for it once in grad school, because you know, I wanted points connected by lines. So that's what line graph looks like. And what I didn't realize, the thing that's evil about it is no matter what you give it for the x-axis, it just treats them as labels for the horizontal axis. So they're equally spaced no matter how close together the values actually are. So it completely distorts the shape of the graph, and it means that you can't actually, you can't even like take out a ruler and make measurements of the slope on the graph, because the scale has nothing to do with.
And at first glance, it looks like it worked, right? It's like, oh,
yeah, it looks like it should be what you want.
Yeah, but
I always say, you know, no matter what you're doing, line graph is the wrong choice.
Yeah, what is a line graph for?
It's like a lot of the things that are wrong with Excel. It's because the primary use is people in business who are doing finance things, and they always have equally spaced points. Right. So if what you're tracking is, you know, quarterly earnings, you have 4 points per year, and each of those 4 points is 3 months in duration. So there's no difference between doing a scatter plot where you connect the points by lines and a line plot where you just space everything evenly and connect them by lines.
So they could use a scatter plot.
They could perfectly well use a scatter plot, but they would need to have they would need to know to, you know, have a separate column. But
that doesn't answer the question. Is there any situation where you'd have to do a line plot instead of a scatter plot?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's just evil. So you're saying it's
if
just
you have the horizontal axis labels in a column, then you may as well do it as a scatter plot.
Okay. So you agree with me? We agree.
Yeah, we absolutely
have no purpose in life.
So.
Okay. Let's get rid of them.
Yeah, I mean, Excel has a bunch of. You can do just about anything you want with it, but it makes some things inordinately hard.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, you know, Plotly is so nice because you can pretty much do everything you want. When you add the trend line, you know, you can make the equation whatever variables you want, and so it displays the equation and all that stuff. And I mean, I'm just so happy.
Does it give you uncertainties with the fit parameters?
Yeah, it does. And also, you can even do a linear fit and give it error bars, and it will use the error bars as weighting.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can do that in Excel, but it's hard.
Yeah. No, right. It's
And you know, a couple of times I've complained about this, and people have said, well, just set up one as a template, and then just have people put their data, you know, overwrite the data in it, and it'll automatically do all the formatting things. And the couple of times I've tried that, it breaks it. Like, I don't know what happens when I wipe the data out and put the new data in. It does something completely different with.
And you
numbers.
want students to use the tool, not to be part of an assembly line. You know, if you give them a pre-made spreadsheet where they're entering all the data, I mean, I don't know. It just doesn't seem like it's. If the point is to get an answer, then that's great. But if the point's to you know, learn physics and learn how to do experiments, then, you know, it'd be better to start from scratch each time so the students could do it.
Yeah. Now, this is one of my recurring. You know, I get stats on the blog dashboard for posts that, you know, like the most visited posts for a given day. It shows me, and you know, if I've posted something new, it's the newest things. But if I go a few days without posting, it falls back to a bunch of old stuff. And one of the recurring ones is a post from like 4 or 5 years ago. That's why does Microsoft Excel suck so much? That consistently draws traffic day after day. And the second one is that's persistent on there is how do I kill the squirrels who are eating my car? Because I had it was actually mice, but it's something chewing on the wiring of my car caused a short, and so these are clearly search engine optimized because people turn.
Well, you know, I think also those are old posts. Is that correct?
What's that?
They're old posts.
Yeah, they're old. They're like 5-6 years ago.
And I think that makes a big difference. You know, I suspect that Google's search algorithms, you know, give a lot of preference to really old things because, you know, they're before a lot of the gamifying of keywords came in, and if you got in before that, then Google knows it and it's like, okay, this is legit, right?
Yeah, that may be. I hadn't thought of that.
I would suspect. So in your Excel sucks post, you talk about how it, I think this is true, it incorrectly does a linear fit sometimes.
We've hit this bizarre problem sometimes where it's in the karate board lab that we do. Students will put in data. It's a beautiful linear fit, and you have it put in a trend line, and it gives you a slope, and the slope is just wrong by not an integer factor, by some weird factor. You know, it's like around 2, but it's not exactly 2 or anything like that. And if you go on the graph and you just take, you know, 2 point values and, you know, divide the x by the y, you get the correct slope, which is not the slope of the trend line that it plots on the graph. And I've never figured out why it does that. And the solution to it is just delete the graph and do it again.
And when you do it again, it gives you the right answer.
Yeah, if you delete it and make it again, it almost always gives you the right answer the second time.
That's weird.
It's really bizarre.
I've actually had students in Excel make their own least squares fit, you know, by doing the columns and stuff like that, and, you know, for advanced students. I thought that was instructive. Yeah.
I have a colleague who had a lab that he used to like to do. It doesn't really fit in the curriculum anymore, but used to do a lab where he would have students do a fit by eye. So just take a ruler, you know, plot your data nicely, and just take a ruler, put it down, and draw the straight line that, you know, goes through the data, and then measure 2 points on that line and calculate the slope from those 2 points. And almost invariably, and then they put it into Excel or something and get the least squares fit, and you get within, if you just eyeball a straight fit, you routinely are within 10%.
That'd be an interesting study to give, you know, data that's very linear. Obviously, it's going to work, right? Yeah. What if the data is not very linear? What if you really have to eyeball it well and kind of, you know, I have students do that, the eyeball fit, because on a test, I don't want them to use a computer, so I'll just say, just eyeball it. And but I'm curious how accurate it would be for different situations for a variety of people.
Yeah. Well, there's a PER study for you.
Yeah. I'm not gonna do it. I don't have enough time.
Oh, yes, get a couple of boxes of donuts and give students, here's a scatter plot. Draw the fit line on there. Here's a donut. Go away.
Well, I wonder if you could do it online. Make an online applet where people kind of, adjust the thing. I bet you could, and then you just let it run all the time and collect data.
That's an interesting idea. Maybe we should do that.
Yeah.
That's right. You could do those. I bet you could probably do that in Plotly.
I bet you could.
Yeah, maybe we should do that.
And then it just automatically, when someone, it gives them a random set of data. It calculates the correlation coefficient. It calculates the least squares fit, and then it has them estimate it, and it sees how far off they are. And
yeah.
I would suspect that the more non-linear the data is, the worse people are at fitting it. I mean, because if it's perfectly linear, they're going to get it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And then they could and then the computer could calculate taking the first data point and the last data point and find the slope from those two, and in what case is that better?
Yeah. Yeah, we should talk about this offline.
Yeah, I like it.
That might be interesting to do.
This is my problem, though. I come up with more ideas than I have time.
I have time to actually code up. Yeah.
But we're idea people now. It's okay just to come up with an idea.
It's thought leaders. That's the case. Thought leaders, which has replaced public intellectual.
Yeah. So anything else new you've seen online lately that you thought was cool, or?
Nah, I've been I've been avoiding a lot of online stuff at the moment, just because I gotta get these talks done, and I gotta get. I've had 5 research students for a while now, and so that's been keeping me on my toes. The two of them finished up a week ago, and so now I'm down to 3, and the 3 that I have are pretty independent. That it's kind of, but one of them's giving a talk on Thursday. So we do this summer seminar series. So we have the students who are doing summer research do. Some subset of them sign up to do, 15 plus 5 presentations, and they do a 15-minute talk, and then we have a few minutes for questions. And so, which is good experience for them.
Oh yeah.
You get some basics in how to make a talk and what to do, and so he's working on his talk at the moment, and then tomorrow we're going to run through it, and then he'll get all my prejudices about how you should put together a talk. So.
Well, I'm not really sure what I'm teaching in the fall or when fall starts, but I do know that I'll have like a 2-week window where it's going to be Blogorama Fest, and I'm excited because I love that time. Nothing but blogging.
The time when there's nothing. Yeah.
And nothing else I have to do. I could prepare for the fall, sure. Oh, I surely could do that, but I'm not going to do that.
It's probably a class.
I'm going to blog. One time I tried. I just wanted to see if I could do it. 5 blog posts in a week. You seem to write more than I do anyway, but for me that was quite a challenge. But I cheated a little bit. I wrote some of them beforehand, and then wrote some of them during the week. But I did do it.
Yeah, when things are going reasonably well, I'll try to put something up every weekday. But a lot of times, sometimes that's just here's a picture of the kids, and and then we're done. Or I do more dumbass controversy stuff than you do. So here's a thing that lots of people are talking about. Here's my 2 cents about the thing lots of people are talking about, and I'll throw that up. And that doesn't take as much work as doing actual physics posts.
Yeah, and there are some posts that take a lot more time. There's ones that I want to do them, But if they have like experimental evidence where I'm actually going to set up an experiment, I love those. But I mean,
That's a lot
they
of
can
fun.
take a long time.
Yeah, it takes.
The one that I remember took me a long time. The last one was I wanted to. Actually, I've done this twice. Calculate the location of the accelerometer in the iPhone.
Oh
So
yeah.
I had to build something that I could. I need to spin it on a platform at a constant speed. I need to be able to then read what the acceleration is, and I mean the setup for that was just.
How did you read what the acceleration? Did you just take a picture of it, or?
I think. Oh my gosh! Now I'm not sure. I think what I did was. I now remember. You can make your computer act like a Apple TV, and so you can broadcast a screen from your phone to your computer, and so 'cause it thinks it's like streaming, and so then I just captured my computer screen with the screen capture program while the thing was running on the table spinning around.
That's good. So.
Yeah. In the past, the very first time I did it, I actually attached a video camera looking at it was an iPod, looking down on the iPod, and so you could see the acceleration values as it spun.
Yeah. Yeah, I did. I tried doing like a roller coaster with my phone at had an acceleration logger program that recorded points, but didn't they didn't have the position data, which is the really fun part.
And if you don't have small enough time intervals for the acceleration data, it's not good.
Yeah.
Because I've tried that with the plane and stuff. And the other problem is it gives you X, Y, Z acceleration. So if you turn your phone a little bit, then
that was the other thing that was hard. And it records an acceleration of 10 meters per second squared in whatever direction is down.
Yeah.
So sort of sorting that out was a nightmare.
It's noisy.
Yeah, like trying to figure because when I was on a roller coaster, the phone it's in my pocket. It's not like perfectly leveled, and then figuring out which of the there were two components that weren't zero.
Right.
If you added them together, then you got something that was a reasonable acceleration of gravity, but then figuring out how to subtract that off of things it ended up being a real hassle. I didn't end up doing anything with that data. I tried doing it with my car too. I was wondering if I could reconstruct the topography of my commute.
Yeah, I've done stuff like that before too. I can't remember where, but yeah, it's kind of fun. It's fun.
Yeah.
Oh, now I did it. I did it in those. Actually, in New Orleans at the American Association of Physics Teachers, they have nice elevators. They're fast, they're tall, and everything. So I recorded the acceleration going up, and then I know what floor I ended at, so I know the height. So then you can compare, you can integrate the acceleration to find the height, and you can check.
Did you take a scale into the elevator with you?
No, I just put the phone on the floor. So it was nice.
There was an AAPT meeting. There were probably 6 other people with filming the bathroom scale in their elevator.
No, we did that, and it's really great because I'll send you the link. It's got a glass wall on the outside, so we actually had people video record me inside throwing a ball or something, and it was great.
Oh yeah,
fun.
I remember seeing that. Yeah, it was like the ball drop.
Yeah, it was fun.
That was weird. So, yeah, those are fun.
But
I liked doing the tennis ball basketball thing I did last week that I posted. I filmed myself dropping objects on my deck last Thursday, and I was gonna do it like full on Veritasium or Smarter Everyday style, like record narration to go with it, and so
that's too much work.
The clips of me dropping stuff are silent. I'm like, God, that's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work, and the thing is, you and I mean, our preferred medium is to write. I mean, we're good at drawing pictures and we're good at writing, and we're just not. We don't have a lot of experience making videos, and for us, it takes a long time. And so I want to make videos, but I'm not going to edit them.
Yeah, and I did edit the clips together. So, I cut out the bits where I'm walking toward the camera to turn it off, or, walking away from the camera having just started the recording. I cut those out and spliced together a bunch of things. But whenever I try to do little videos, like, I film myself talking, I inevitably do like what I have now. I have this calendar that's like growing out of my head in the background, which I don't notice when I'm setting it up, and then I'm start editing the video, and I'm like, Jesus, I look like an idiot. I got this, this big post coming up behind me.
I mean, I'm definitely impressed with Derek and Destin from Veritasum and Smart Every Day. I mean, they make nice videos, and it's clearly a lot of work. Or Henry from Minute Physics. That probably a little bit easier, because it's all on like a paper and stuff, but still. It's still tough.
We asked him at Science Online how he does it. And he said it's a DSLR camera that he has plugged into his computer, and so it's controlled from the computer, and it takes one still image every second, and just saves it. And so he draws those pictures live. And then it saves the pictures as he draws them, and then he records the voiceover separately.
So it doesn't seem too bad.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't seem like there's a ton of editing.
No, it's not. It's not real bad, I guess, as far as I mean, he said that it was Tom Swanson and I asked him about it, and he said that, and he walked away, and we were both like, "Huh, like that sounds like I could almost do that." And,
you need the squeaky marker though. Week, 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 week.
And then belatedly I realized that I could almost do that, except I can't draw. So,
I can't either. I can draw on the computer.
Cartoons, nobody's gonna watch my cartoons. So.
But the thing about the video that I've been thinking about, and I was talking to someone that was interviewing bloggers about what they do for research and stuff like that. It seems like the video path is a much better way to make that your professional activity. It seems like you can be more successful at being financially independent by making videos, whereas you probably couldn't do it with just blogging.
Yeah, I think a lot of people really like the videos, and I'll admit, I don't. Whenever I watch Veritasium or Smarter Every Day or Minute Physics, I'm like, wow, that's really good. They do a really good job, but I rarely actually watch them.
Yeah, I don't watch them on a regular basis, but if I see something cool, I will. But
yeah, I just everything's a video, and I'm like, yeah, and this is gonna take 5 minutes, and I can't be doing anything else while it's on.
Well, it's just not our preferred medium because we're just older, I guess. But
yeah, but yeah, every now I think that I should do more of that sort of thing. And and I did I did that what is color thing for the Alan Alda deal. And I'm gonna do the book's coming out in December, so in the fall I'm gonna put together a couple of short like book trailer things where I do like a 5-minute talk on one of the chapters, and but that's gonna those are inevitably sort of the Al Gore PowerPoint movie kind of thing. It's clips of me talking and then slides, which that works.
Yeah,
serves the purpose. But yeah, I'm much better with either talking live or writing words.
Yeah, there's too many editing tricks that I'm just not familiar with, and it's way too much work for me. So.
Yeah. So, but it's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I should really take some of those dropping ball clips and cracker video them.
Yeah, if it's a video to collect data, I'm definitely gonna do that. But I probably won't even cut out the part where I'm walking to stop the camera because I just don't care.
Well, yeah, so. if you're gonna take data from it, then.
No, I'll post it online too.
So. Well, it's just because I wanted to have 3 different cases, and then then that's then 3/4 of the video is is me walking toward or away from the camera, and then that's kind of stupid. So
yeah. I just like to put that in there. It makes it more real, right? More connection to the real people. Because I actually got to stop the camera.
Yeah, exactly. It's important to stop the camera. I mean,
yeah.
You can put it like the cut scene at the end of the credits, right?
Right. And be stopping the camera a whole bunch of times.
Yes. a little bonus reel. So.
Well, that was 30 minutes. Should we stop there?
I think so. That's probably good.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, that was episode 19.
Episode 19. So do we need to come up with something really good for 20, or
we need to have another guest on
21 when he can drink?
I don't know. We'll have to figure something out.
So we got to get we have to come up with a guest star, or we get Neil Tyson on to.
Yeah. We'll do that.
Because we could do that.
Yeah, he'll like it. Yeah.
So something like that.
Yeah, we'll think of something.
Okay.
All right. Stopping it.